presses, if you're going to start out with them, basically same thing as your goblet squats. So you start out from here, press overhead, that's your most basic variation. Then you move into the bottoms up with your V grip. So these are easy ways to progress. Yep, that's fine like that. So you start out there. Bottoms down makes it more challenging, so they've really got to concentrate, because otherwise that's falling on their head if they let go. Not a pretty sight. Into single arm press. So here's where it's a bit tricky. So, hang on, I'm trying to avoid the microphone so I don't crush that with the bell. So again, like Josh was alluding to earlier, it runs down that 45 degree on the palm. When you're pressing with these, you shouldn't actually have any grip at all on the bell. Your hand shouldn't get tired here. I can press all day long with my hand open. Biggest thing, keep your wrist straight. So you got to get used to cuffing your hand against the wrist. This is where pro grades work nicely. So if you find some light ones, jump onto those. When you're pressing, it's dead straight up. In my opinion, I don't actually rotate my arm at all, because most people don't do well with external rotation in the shoulders. But I can just work on keeping my arm nice and straight. If you find you have someone rotating all the time, what you can do, come onto a wall here, they'll press straight up and they bring it straight back down. So elbow stays inside the shoulder the entire time. So when you're pressing, your elbow is always inside that shoulder line. Like that's rotating my arm. So yours is rotate. So turn so your hand faces towards Josh. Yep, like that, and just push straight up from there. Much easier. Neutral point in the shoulders. A lot of people have really dicky shoulders, and with bells, the reason why I don't rotate is because the bell rotates itself, because it's a round object on a round object. So it's not like a dumbbell, which is a uniform. Is that going to destabilize? So yeah, rotating, yes, it makes a lot of people go like that, and it keeps going because I don't know how to control the end point, and it's really bad in the shoulders. Plus it's over my head, so as you're fatiguing, it's coming down to have a bad day. So I keep it all inside, and that way I can sort of, as you demonstrate the point, you can have a conversation with people while still doing rep after rep, not because you're awesome, but because it's efficient for movement. So you just got to keep it nice and solid, elbow always inside the shoulder, hand facing off to the side. Makes it a lot easier to press. If you want to try a couple of other advanced variations of presses, you may want to drop your weight down. So come along, bottom up. This is where you usually go light, and it teaches people to stabilize through the shoulder. You can hear my voice change completely when I'm doing these. So it's about patience and not rushing. The more you rush, the more likely it is to fall. The other thing you want to do with it, as you'll see on that one, it started getting wobbly when I wasn't watching the bell. Watch the bell. This is a technique for later on when we hit Turkish get-ups and windmills. You must always watch the bell in those. I'll explain why when we hit those exercises. Last one that's a fun one. Handle on the front part of the wrist. It's called a waiter's press. So imagine like you got a tray of drinks. Anyone worked in hospitality, you'll do fine here. Here. Push up. Same technique, elbow inside the shoulder the whole time. Don't externally rotate. Elbow points forward. It's inside my shoulder.